We are very fortunate to have him here today to present to Liza Levy. So, Congressman, would you join us?
Thank you very much, Karen. It is a great honor to be back with you at this annual gathering of the Jewish Women's International Group, and it's a particular privilege to be able to once again present the Community Leadership Award. Before I do that, I do want to first thank all of you who support JWI. And I want to give a special thanks to Lori Weinstein for her terrific leadership. Lori, thank you for all your good work. And to my good friend Susie Turnbull, the chair of the board of directors here at Jewish Women's International. Susie, thank you for your leadership. I also understand that two terrific leaders are here with us today, Ida Lowy and Jan Schakowsky. And I just wanted to salute them for their terrific work in the United States Congress for our country. And I know they join all of us in calling upon the House of Representatives to immediately take up the Senate-passed Women Against Violence legislation and get the job done. We've got to prevent, we're working hard to prevent us from going over the fiscal cliff, but we also need to work hard to pass that very important piece of legislation. You've already heard some of the very powerful and moving stories here today, and it's essential that we take that up as a priority. As someone famous once said, quote, "Unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not." Now, those wise words come not from Eleanor Roosevelt or Mother Teresa, but another hero of the 20th century, Dr. Seuss, writing in his book, The Lorax. Among the qualities that distinguish Liza Levy, the 2012 Jewish Women International Community Leadership Award recipient, is her vast capacity to care. She is one of those compassionate people who truly listens to those in our community who need help, and doesn't just listen, but creates programs to respond. Over a decade ago, when she saw that the needs of domestic abuse victims in the area were not being addressed, she co-founded the Jewish Coalition Against Domestic Abuse, which offers comprehensive assistance to victims and their families. Liza's interest in women's issues and affecting social change inspired her to co-found the Tikkun Olam Women's Foundation, an organization dedicated to funding programs serving women and girls while also empowering women philanthropists. A leader in the Jewish Federation of Greater Washington, she currently serves as Vice President of Financial Resources Development, where she currently serves as the Chairman of the Financial Resources Development. She also served on the boards of Adat Shalom Synagogue and the Charles E. Smith Jewish Day School. Liza grew up in South Africa and relocated here in her early 20s. Inspired by the example of her parents, who were involved in numerous organizations in Cape Town, she soon began making her mark in this community. Now she is a role model, not only to her own children, but to all who encounter her. And so I'm very pleased to present the JWI Community Leadership Award to Liza Levy. Congratulations.
In so many ways, it's just a really defining moment for me. You know, when I thought about what I was going to say today, it was really difficult. I sat down on my computer and I started typing, and that didn't work, but once heard you say something that really resonated with me, and why don't you start there? And that's exactly what I did. I went home, I sat down at my computer, and suddenly it was all there. And it's all about defining moments. And we so seldom notice them as we experience them. But as a young girl growing up in South Africa, I was unaware about the impact that a strong Jewish community, good family role models, and Jewish values would influence my people. You know, I'm sure we all try to impart to our children those things that we think are most important to us, never knowing how it's going to play out, and only hoping that whatever we've done right, or we think we've done right, will somehow come back to us. Anyway, at that time, I was very young, and the opportunity to immigrate as a young newlywed presented itself, and I was very overwhelmed. It wasn't something that I was planning to do with my life. I was very comfortable in my nice safe space, and but you know, as they say, life throws things at you, and it's what you do with them when you get there. The decision to leave my safe space and begin anew in a strange place filled me with the fear of losing myself and my identity in this big grey mess that was America. It really was overwhelming. I used to go to bed at night and I used to imagine this big grey cloud, and somewhere in that cloud I would find a place for myself in this big country. So the time comes, and we're at the airport, and I walk through the security gates, and the metal doors slam shut, and suddenly I left everything that was precious to me behind. Years later, when I took time to reflect, I remembered the impact of that moment and how instrumental it was in shaping who I am today. Because from that moment, I could only move forward. And now it was up to me. What was I going to do with this opportunity? Defining moments. They beckon us to build the strength to reach higher, stretch further, and embrace change. I believe in life there are no coincidences. Too many things happen to us and people say they were shared. They're meant to be. So picture this. I'm sitting in a Jewish Federations of North America Young Leadership Conference breakout session on families in crisis. And I landed there purely by default, because I don't know if any of you have ever been to these big Jewish conferences. We like to talk and we like to schmooze and we like to hang with our friends from all over the country that we haven't seen for a long time. And that's exactly what I did. So by the time I went to my session, closed down. Big fat security guard, can't come in. So I said, okay, I'll go into the session next door. There's probably something interesting going on there. And sure enough, this was meant to be. Because I sat shocked as I listened to a survivor tell about the domestic violence in her marriage and how her Jewish community saved her life. Tears poured down my cheeks. I sat there open-mouthed. I had this little protected, cushioned life in South Africa, and suddenly I was hearing things I didn't think were ever possible. But I guess they are. And I sat there thinking, I have 2 daughters and a son. I live in this big city, Washington, D.C. What is my community doing on the ground to help Jewish women who are experiencing the same things, suffering the same fate, right in my own backyard? And sadly, at that time, nothing. Why is that our problem? It's not a Jewish issue. That's the refrain I heard all too often. An unmet need, an opportunity for change, a defining moment, and I was there. You know those pit bulls that get their teeth into something, that don't let go? There was just no way that Washington, D.C. could not have something that helped women on the ground who are experiencing trauma every single day. My work in the Jewish community has been about being a catalyst for change, particularly in the lives of women and girls. And I think that's why the work that JWI does and some of the stories you've heard today really resonated with me. And this unrelenting passion gave rise to the Jewish Coalition Against Domestic Abuse, and several years later, the Deacon Women's Foundation. For me, these organizations harness the energy and philanthropy of women to affect change. And really, it's up to us. We are our own best advocates. If we see something that's not right, it's up to us to go out and make it different, to make it better. And how can we improve it, and how can we change it? And we saw some of the today on the screens about young girls who go out to their first jobs and earn less than their brothers and their friends. It's all right. We need to make that difference to change things. And so these organizations, the Carlisle Women's Foundation, organizations like JWI and the Jewish Coalition Against Domestic Abuse, harness the energy and philanthropy of women to effect change. By furthering the rights of women and empowering them, we are in turn empowered. And I'm proud to say that today I work within a community that embraces change. And this is not a job one does alone. I continue to work every day in partnership with friends, colleagues, my federation community, to keep moving forward and gain enormous strength from a very supportive family. We know as women we can never go out there and do this without a strong support network. And wherever we find it, we bring them with us because we are strength in numbers. And so, in brief, my call to each of you today is this. Pay attention to those defining moments, good or bad in your life. And then go out and use them to give you the strength to engage and to create the changes you want to see, both within yourselves and in your community. Because the change that you're going to see happen isn't only out there and out there, it happens inside. And when you feel that shift, it's remarkable. And each of you in this room has the power to do that. It's not difficult. You just have to do it. You know the nightmare? It's up to you. So I thank you. I thank you for being here. I thank you for recognizing the work that I've done. It's a very humbling